it to work. If I drew more attention to Bill...
Whoa. The internet doesn't work like we want it to work. Maybe it doesn't work how you want it to work, Carl. I think the internet's working just fine. Actually, it's not true, but that's a totally separate topic.
His claims about what I said, more people would have repeated it, and it would have been used against me in court. For example, Billy's team crawled through thousands and thousands of comments on two Moist Critical videos about Billy Mitchell, which were released years after my video. They found a handful of comments that related to Apollo Legend, and then without any causal link, claimed that they were a direct result of my video. Even though there was no mention of me or my channel, and we don't know who these people are or why they are making these comments, the judge ruled that I'm responsible. Essentially, it didn't seem to matter if people may have come to this conclusion independently, and it didn't seem to matter if there was no evidence linking their conclusion to my original video. The blame for every single comment was entirely placed upon me.
Now that is the first good argument I have heard out of Carl Jobs' mouth. That is the first fucking good argument. We are 26 minutes into the video. We're 2 hours and 18 minutes into my analysis, and he has finally made a good argument. He's finally made a good argument. Well done. Well done. Incredible. Carl's lawyer was Mark Russo all along. But yeah, finally, this is a good argument. So, the argument that they took... So, are these comments from... So there was a bunch of comments... Okay, so, actually this might not be a good argument. Hold on. We need to investigate. So, Carl's claim is that on these Moist Critical videos, apparently his name's Mr. White, it's Walter White here, on Walter White's videos, there were some comments implying that Billy Mitchell was responsible for Apollo suicide. Okay? That's the claim. And then Carl's defense of that is, they don't mention me, there's no way to know where they got these ideas, whether they came to them independently, whether they got them from somebody else. There's no way to, prove that Carl is responsible for the belief within those people. Good argument. But, if we look into the actual trial... verdict here. I have in the verdict, I have this table that has a bunch of comments, right? Now, I was under the impression that these comments were on Carl's videos. And if they're on Carl's own videos, then it's very easy to see that, yes, Carl is responsible for the belief, you know. It's very easy. If it's on the video where he made the statement, you know, obviously that shows the causal link, right, that Carl is saying doesn't exist for these Moist Critical comments. But, I mean, I don't have the whole case here, right? This is just the verdict. So, I guess, I don't know, I guess Billy Mitchell brought in both into evidence. So, okay, I agree with Carl here. Comments on a Moist Critical video claiming that Billy's responsible for Apollo's suicide aren't strong evidence. That's not strong evidence. For the reasons Carl said. So, good on him, but unfortunately, there is also a large amount of comments that, and the judges selected some of the juiciest ones, I guess, that were on Carl's actual videos where this causal link does exist. So, alright, we can get rid of some of Billy's evidence, correctly defended, get rid of it. unfortunately, that doesn't get rid of the ones on his own videos, which do exist. So, you know. So Carl may have successfully sort of defended against the claim that sort of these that this idea is like widespread throughout the internet and the larger community. You know, you could maybe make the argument now it's restricted really just to my small my Jobsties community. I don't know, there's maybe some sort of argument you can make, but yeah. So I think Carl is a little Carl dub here. Little bit, but there are still comments that he is obviously responsible for. Because they're on his own. Anyway, let's move on. I think I've made my point.
The judge even flat out stated that